Hello again to another episode of Tech Talk. And we always talk about interesting topics on our show. And today I have my technician Cameron here and also my good friend Mark.
Hi. Yep.
And today's topic is going to be how to grow your business using technology. And that is kind of your expertise, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And, small business owners want to grow their company. They want more customers.
Right.
And nowadays, technology is kind of required, but it's super affordable, easy to implement and use. And I'll use an example, something called CRM. And maybe we'll define that, right?
Yeah, what does it stand for?
Yeah, it means customer relationship management.
Simple.
Oh, like Salesforce.
It's like Salesforce. There's all these different providers in the market that you as a business owner can make a very small investment, $29 a month, and manage all your customer information.
Right. And most of these, most of these applications are web-based, so you don't have to install anything on your computer anymore. You can get it from your phone. You can be out, network meetings. We just did one this morning with the Chamber of Commerce in Stuart. It was very nice. And you can be in contact with your customers, and you're not missing a beat there.
Absolutely.
So you're always available, which is a good and bad thing, but you need to be in business.
Some owners I know, they application, they run their business on their telephone.
Yeah.
So you can be mobile completely, and you have all the information at your fingertips.
Right, exactly. So lots of solutions out there. CRM is one of them. Obviously, as an IT company in Vero Beach, we are growing and we're expanding into the Stuart area and other areas. And we're using tools like that, obviously, to keep track of our customers and make sure we know step by step what we're doing, right?
Yeah, and Mark, I got to ask you, how important are email campaigns?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that kind of a lead in. So once you have your CRM burnt in and have your customer contact information, you can continue to build a relationship through email marketing. And the good news is a lot of these CRMs already have an email marketing system embedded. And all that really means is we're sending our customers messages about how we create value for them, about an offer, about a product or service, but it's all about them constantly building value, creating the relationship. And from a business case point of view, a small business owner, you can double your revenue when you start to implement and use email marketing.
And people can come to you to get the difference between junk mail that we all delete and a good email marketing message. You can help them with that.
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
absolutely. It's all about how you construct the email, the sales copy, the fundamentals of my clients. I kind of have an exercise. I really go through the foundation and the fundamentals of marketing before we even implement the technology. So if you do things correctly, it works properly.
It's like a marketing mindset.
Yeah, you have to bring that thought process to the table. And also the owners, they want to do that anyway. They're busy running their business, but they intuitively get it, and we just work together and make it happen.
Very cool.
Right, and you have to have a good message, obviously. You have to have something that's engaging to the customer and not a lot of boring stuff in there, something gets straight to the point.
Absolutely. One of
Right.
the things I was telling a colleague recently, in your messaging, your core message to your target audience, you want to be able to focus on a problem they have and don't want, or a business outcome they want and don't have.
Right.
So it's really all about them and how we serve them and how we help them get from point A to point B.
Right.
If you stay in that core messaging, you're developing a good relationship.
And it's also very important nowadays because we have the internet now, and is the use of social media, right?
Oh yeah, it's paramount. So we're a small company and we're beginning to implement our CRM. We use a little email marketing. You have to have a social presence. I know you do.
Right.
Why don't you tell everyone about what you're doing with social?
Well, we do everything. We do mainly Facebook, but also obviously TikTok and YouTube, all the different channels. As you are watching us right now, Tech Talk is on YouTube and Facebook, wherever, and we post about 2-3 times a day. It's a lot of work, and you have to come up with some good ideas, some entertaining ideas, and quite honestly, also sometimes you have to come up with something that you don't think of. Like sometimes, I can't come up with certain ideas, somebody else has an idea. You have to be open and willing to learn from others and understand.
Yeah, or even like a trend, like people are talking about Chat GPT nowadays.
Yeah.
Just having a little overview about how your customers can use that.
Right.
It's something people want to hear more. They're like, what is it? What is AI? That's a whole nother conversation. Right?
So actually we had a program on that a little recently ago with Cameron, and we want to talk about that a little bit about how AI can help you with that too, right?
Right. So when you're dealing with employees, AI can help you to work like Grammarly to write appropriate messages to them, kind of give you ideas, and you can just give it whatever your scenario is. A lot of times I start off the conversation with ChatGPT saying, "My name is Cameron Capoletta. I'm the cybersecurity manager for ACT Computers. We have been open since 1995," and you feed it a background, and based on that prompt, you can get more information out of it. But I will say there are important people like Mark here who can write better copy in a lot of instances than those, because while it's a very good detailed description, it's a very encyclopedic description.
Right, very robotic.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a robot.
Versus yours
Yeah.
is a very natural feeling.
When you have client intimacy, I get to know you, your passion, your company, your forward direction, your customer base, what's important to them. Then you can start writing sales copy that's relevant and resonates with the end customer, the prospect. And it's all about helping them solve a problem and getting credibility and build a trust relationship through your sales copy. And I'll tell you a fun story. I worked with one of my clients. They said, "Hey, let me try ChatGPT for a little bit of sales copy." And he went into the program went into features, technical features. And I kind of went through, well, here's how our service benefits the customer and how they gain for what we do. And it really outperformed.
And you're still talking about that core mindset that you have, those two core things, what we can bring to the customer that they wish they had.
Right.
And that's how you base your...
Yeah, so, I'm kind of lucky, a little disciplined, and you need a little bit of discipline and structure. That's kind of the human element I bring to the table. But to me, it's all about fundamental marketing and sales conversion and going in and meeting a business owner where they are and helping them get to where they want to go. And technology is a big piece.
Yeah.
And you have expertise in cybersecurity. That has become more paramount and important nowadays. Let's talk about how cybersecurity is so important for all the solopreneurs and the small companies out there, right?
So say you have this piggy bank and you put all your dimes, you started washing your own laundry in your bathtub. You're living off chicken pot pies and rice, saving this bank of $5,000 to start a business, and then all of a sudden your passwords get compromised and that money's gone.
Yeah.
It could wreck bigger and smaller companies. Can get wrecked by cybersecurity attacks, and a lot of it comes from lack of awareness. We were talking about someone earlier who left their business when the transition from one operating system to another came out. With cybersecurity, I've got to check the vulnerability logs every day to see what's going on. I just sent you one about HP and their firmware.
Right.
So for a small business with a security mindset going up is very important. But there's something, I don't want to get too technical, but they call it the CIA triangle: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If you have a high amount of confidentiality, then you're going to lower your availability, and you can compromise your integrity. So it has to be a balanced aspect. So if you're not willing to take risks on marketing and certain things, you're going to limit your ability to grow.
Well, I'm going to kind of jump on that really quick. If I were crafting a value proposition for a real business owner right now, and you were security minded and had those capabilities burnt into your company, I would expose that in our messaging to prospective clients, because that's a benefit.
So you use it as a tool.
No, I use it as a marketing
Right,
message,
yeah,
because
yeah.
you know what? We take care of confidentiality of customer information. We have a lot of employee information and payroll information. So we have a security, like people want to know that their relationship and their information is secure. So we can take that message and use it in our marketing.
And it's not just a small businesses. I mean, big businesses, hospitals are notorious about not doing backups, running off of older versions of operating systems, not putting screen protectors on. There's a lot of things that major medical centers and major businesses aren't doing that could compromise customer rights and privacy.
Client security.
Yeah.
And like you were saying earlier, when it comes to security, which we highly believe in, you also have to find, and like anything in life, you have to find a compromise.
A balance point,
exactly.
right?
If you make it too secure, and you don't have any like a social presence because you don't want anybody finding you and hacking your network, then of course you can't operate a business because you're not getting customers in. So you have to find a balance right there. But that's what we do with companies, especially to make sure they have their backups, they have their firewall in place, everything's monitored, we can shut things down if something does happen, and also educate the customers. I always believe in telling the customer how things work. Now, if you're running a business, you need to run your business, but you don't need to know everything in the background. You don't need to know how to fix the transmission, okay?
Yep.
Unless you're a car mechanic, but if you're selling bananas, you don't need to do that, okay? So with us, for example, we tell the customer right away, these are the things we need to address, and you need to keep up on it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very
very-
important. You need to run your business, but you need to be aware of things too.
I mean, we're still on the same page. I call that being consultative. When you're with a prospective client or an
Right.
existing client, we really want to find out what their needs are. And so we can focus on the solution that takes them from where they are and gets them to where they want to go. And it sounds like you guys do that
Yeah.
as part of your process.
Right.
Technology too, I like to talk to business owners about not being overwhelmed by technology.
Yeah.
We're not in there to push technology. I look at technology as it serves the owner and the business.
Right, it's a tool.
For a tool, for a
Right.
purpose. And so, you can use your technology in your marketing too. Like
Yeah.
things like, organic marketing on Facebook, or you can use paid advertising.
Exactly.
And again, the technology benefit to a business owner is that when you do a paid campaign, you have all these metrics, all the details about that campaign, how many people clicked, what the cost of click, down to the cost of acquisition. And the cost of acquisition, you can get into cool things like lifetime value of a customer relationship and begin to build a competitive advantage in the market that you serve.
Right.
So technology is a utility. It serves the business to help them accelerate their growth and really build a competitive advantage.
Right. Analytics are obviously a huge deal. That's how companies like Google grew their business. That's what they're really into business with. They're just comparing data collecting, and it's a big giant tool. And I was going to come back to ChatGTP a little bit about AI systems, artificial intelligence systems. As we hear in the news, they're all over the place, and we're going to have another program about it too, because there's so much to talk about, right? We use it ourselves internally for certain things, to write things, analyze things, and sometimes you just need a little help sometimes. So we need to not to be afraid of AI in the future. We need to use it as a tool. It's an augmentation to us, okay? Just like I compare, for example, some guy just told me, "Oh my God, we're going to lose all these people. They're going to lose their jobs and all these different things." The job's going to transition, just like we got robots making cars now. That we still have people working in the factory taking care of the robots and
Yeah.
programming them. It's just a different type of job.
Yeah.
Same thing in AI. It's a tool, similar to, for example, check spelling and thesaurus in your
Totally
work
agree.
program. It's
It
just an
augments
addition,
and enhances what we do. You're not
Right.
going to replace the human element.
No,
It's
never.
the good news, never.
Never.
People want relationships. People buy from people. People have an emotional reason why they are interested in a brand. The brand
Right.
delivers. And by the way, you talk about brand identity of a company. It's all about how the people in the company live the brand on a daily basis through every interaction they have with their customer base. So that human element is center,
Right.
and the AI is augmentation. That's why
Exactly.
that's why I look at it.
If anything, I would think that, say you're in a position where you feel like you're going to lose your job, a lawyer, an accountant, something that AI might take over, that should push you in a good way to learn more about it, to learn how you can use it to your advantage so you don't lose a position. Right now, Apple just hired, I think 500 to 1,000 AI engineers that they're going to bring on to enhance their AI abilities. So AI is creating jobs and pushing humans to enhance their education.
Right, and it's coming. It's not something that can be. I don't think it can be stopped in any way. It's just something we're gonna have to live with it and roll with it. And we've all gotten so used now. Like when I go to bed at night, my wife says, "Google, turn off the lights." And you don't have Google here, but if I just turn off your lights at home, sorry for that. but,
That's a good
No.
way to get audience to understand AI. So there's no fear. Remember how when Google came out?
Yeah.
Now we all can go into Google and type a few words into the search bar,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And then Google will go out and give us a result set on
Right.
page one. 9 out of 10 times you're getting good information. So AI is like a Google on steroids
Right, and you see that
to
also
make everybody
now.
comfortable
They
with
call
it.
it applied statistics.
Exactly.
So you get a data set, and then you apply them to a problem, and that's how you get the result out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier about marketing, how digital marketing is very important. But as you can see, what we did earlier with the Stewart Chamber, word of mouth marketing is still very important.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I know what in the past I've done door flyers and mailers. So it's a full circle encompassing, depending on your target audience. You stick a mailer in an 18-year-old's door, they're going to throw it away. But depending on your target audience is how you focus your marketing campaign, and that's kind of what Mark is good at, bringing your business from A to where you want to be.
I'll give you a fun one. This is so like counterintuitive because we have a couple generations now that I don't have my phone. I left it in the car. How about that? They're on the phone all the time. They're looking at
Yeah.
social media.
Right.
Well, I'm old school, and I have a couple of clients locally. It's a funny story, right? So, everybody talks about digital marketing, social media campaigns, and we got to be on LinkedIn, on Facebook. These two businesses specifically, you walk in, you do a cold call, you walk into the company, you say hello, ask a few questions, have a little bit of a conversation to begin the sales process. So, a human element, the art of sales, the science of sales and selling is never going to go away. What I try to do is make your company better at doing that, so you're more effective, higher sales conversion, happier customer experience, and you grow your company systematically.
And the art of the cold call is an
How
art
about
to
that?
itself.
Yeah.
I think anybody in any business should start off learning how to do cold calling to be able to enjoy the pressure of, I need this, they need this, let's make it happen.
Yeah, it's all about the mental game, your mindset. When you're getting on the phone to do phone prospecting, and not many people even want to do that anymore, or you're walking into a business cold, you have to feel your energy level. You have to bring up your energy level and say to yourself that, my product and service creates value from their point of view,
Right.
and I'm here to help them.
I'm not bothering them.
I'm not bothered. I'm trying to help them.
Yeah.
So if you walk in with that thinking process, it comes across.
Yeah.
It really does.
Definitely.
So I know it's a tech talk, but we're still talking about the human element.
Of course, that
It's
will
still,
never go away.
still paramount, right?
That will never go away.
Yeah.
No matter how technical we get in the future. One thing I was going to mention too is how software is going to start working together. And I just did a demo on something called Microsoft Copilot.
Yeah.
I saw how it works, and it's pretty amazing. So we all pretty much use Office 365 nowadays, whether we want to or not. We're using it. So the days of having your own software on your machine are pretty much gone.
Yeah.
But there's also a big benefit to that. You have your available data to you all the time. You can get on your phone. I can sign a contract on my phone right now if I want to. But Copilot is a new thing from Microsoft. It's basically AI system that they introduce as like a virtual assistant that works across all the different Office programs.
I didn't know the depth of the capability,
Yeah.
but thank you for that.
It's amazing. So you can in the future, and that's coming out soon. Is the program basically works with Word, Excel, Access, whatever program you have in that slew there, and it will work together. So you can tell it, for example, the thing that was what really fascinated me is you told the system to listen in to a video chat between like 4 or 5 people and give me all the key points that are important to me. This is what I'm looking for in the conversation.
Yeah. Yep.
It wrote them all down and then it put it in a spreadsheet for him. And I said, oh, by the way, can you email me these people with that kind of question? And
Wow.
it did all that by itself within seconds.
Yeah, it's like a whole nother level of screen scraper. It's intelligently looking at your ideal prospect and bringing them back to you,
Right.
so you can take an action. Hey, one more thing about the small business owner technology.
Right.
Super important is integration.
Right.
Have you heard about integration?
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So I have a personal experience. I put in a LinkedIn lead generation system that's fully integrated, and we're using software stacks. We have something called Expandy. It's going to help us do automated messaging on a LinkedIn platform that's organic and authentic. We use Sales Navigator to find the ideal prospect. We're using a Zapier. Zapier is a little tool, a little software tool that can get information from LinkedIn and put it into your CRM, which is HubSpot. And then we want to do email marketing, and Zapier integrates HubSpot with Woodpecker email marketing. So that's what the small business owner has. Probably their number one tech challenge is, how do I integrate all this stuff so it works well together?
Right.
And that's where I see the opportunity in my client base to bring in that methodology and to begin to integrate these systems. Now you go to market systematically in an automated fashion, and you can really begin to accelerate customer acquisition.
So
Right.
the nice thing about what you're talking about is you can have one CRM platform that does all of that. But if one of those links fail, the whole system could fail.
That's right.
Versus using what they call APIs. They are outside source channels to be able to use Google or Woodpecker or any of the other programs. And then it's like a Swiss Army. Build it yourself Swiss Army.
Very
knife.
good. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Swiss Army knife, connect it all together.
Exactly.
It's all about automation too. I mean, that's basically, to put it in plain English, what they're talking about here is all these different programs, names, and services. You're basically putting them all together like a toolbox, right? Like different
Yeah,
tools,
yeah.
and they all work together. And sometimes some tools don't work, but it doesn't mean the whole thing falls apart.
Integrated workflows. That's what we're all.
Exactly.
So I had a colleague of mine, just to illustrate, emphasize the point. So he uses LinkedIn to do a little business development. I think we all use a little bit of LinkedIn,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
And I think our audience does too.
Sure,
So
yeah.
so if you're on LinkedIn and you want to send I want to send a connection request to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to figure out who I want to send it to. I click, find the owner of a computing company here locally, and I want to send it. I have to type in the message in LinkedIn. And the reality is, like most busy people who in business development sales maybe do 5 of those messages a day.
Mm-hmm.
You can automate that where you're sending out 80 connection requests every morning at 7:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 times 80 is what, 400? Versus the other person, like you've got 2 people on your sales team. One's doing 5 messages 2 days a week, and the other part of the team's doing 400 messages. Who's going to outperform?
Yeah.
So that kind of illustrates the business utility of using some of this technology and embedding it in your company. And by the way, I'd be happy to work for help anyone listening today with making this stuff happen, because it's a passion. I have fun at it, and all I really care about is helping you get to where you want to go from your perspective.
So I got a question for you. From my personal experience, I would take a post and I would go to Facebook groups. And I'm in like 200 Facebook groups. And I would open up 200 different tabs. And I would copy and paste and then go post, next tab, post, go next tab, post. And after about 30 or 40, Facebook's like, hey, you're posting too much.
Right.
So I put a timer on it. So every 30 seconds I post. It would take 3 hours. Are there ways that your platform has to, I don't want to say subvert, but work with the existing?
Yeah. So here's the balance. I like the word balance that you said out loud. I would advise a small business owner. Firstly, let's get the foundation built, the fundamentals down. Let's just do basic things very, very well. Like a Japanese philosophy, right? But yeah, if we want to start automating our posting, there's some great software that does that. And you have to kind of do an evaluation of the software platform, because here's the deal. The algorithms are super smart and get smarter all the time. The algorithms can kind of see what you do and how you do it and your intent, and what you think might be a value-added thing in your marketing turns against you. So you just got to think through your marketing campaign.
That's why you need a person ahead of the computer that's doing all this automation, so you can do its checks and balances.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why you need like either a smart person on your staff or an expert consultant to have those conversations.
Right.
It's about what do we want to achieve from a business point of view, not just the technology because the algorithm sees that posting and it will penalize you.
Right. All these search engines and social media platforms are pretty quick about, blocking you, and if something comes out that it doesn't like, or too much of a volume, they'll shut you down with email campaigns. We all have seen them many times where customers are trying to send out hundreds of emails, and all of a sudden they get blacklisted because it looks like a scammer.
Yeah.
So that's no good. So you have to go through real software channels to get this done. One thing I was going to point out one more time is that if you look online through many of these, TikTok and YouTube channels, There are a lot of people advertising now that they do all this for you for almost nothing. You get, they do it for free, and it's like one of these things where we'll install this into your website, and you just sit back on the beach, relax.
Wow, so-
That's a bunch of baloney. That's not going to happen.
I 100% agree, and thank you for telling the audience. Yeah, everybody at I stay away from any type of bot, any type of little niche tool. Don't even go there. Don't even use them because they're not going to. First of all, a lot of them are not like, you hear fake news. They don't really work. There's some misrepresentation. There's not many shortcuts in life. You need to go out there and
No,
grab.
it takes work. Everything
It takes work. It takes work in reality. But I stay away from the little bots that you think are going to transform your company and your business.
Right.
And let's stick to good fundamental and execution.
Right.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Next week, isn't Memorial Day coming up?
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's talk about that a little bit because we're getting to the end of our show. So, Memorial Day weekend is coming up, but we're starting our sale today. Today.
Okay.
So we're going to offer 10% off all our computers we built ourselves
Wow.
and desktops, and we've been doing this for 28 years now, so we know what we're doing. Desktop computers, gaming computers, and we do that. And also we're going to, this week, if you come to our shop and you get something done as in labor, we'll give you 20% off the first hour of labor also, which is a quite big savings right there.
Yeah, and the computers we build, we have i5 systems, which if you're not technologically advanced, i5s are just great processors, good solid workstations. We now put 16 gigs of RAM in there, which is double what you'd need to do anything, and a 1 terabyte hard drive. If you're the owner of business or someone doing stuff more resource intensive, we have i7s with 32 gigs of RAM and a 2 terabyte hard drive, 2 terabyte solid state drive. All that means is super fast and not expensive and backed by a company that's been here since
Can
1995.
I give you a little plug?
Sure.
So I'm a customer of ACT, and I know Jürgen for a long time, and a pleasure meeting you recently, right? So I'm a business owner, and I use them for my PC technology, and the real value add. They're going to configure a PC, a high-quality configuration that outperforms at a reasonable price. So in my view, I'm not going to go to a Staples or a Walmart or a Best Buy. I go to ACT Computers. They don't only provide me the solution that I need, a high-performing PC that works, they service it on the back end. You have expert IT guys that can take care of any type of service issue. They have these service packs. So it's an amazing experience, a friendly team, and I'm glad that I'm a customer.
Yes, a good friend. Thank you so much. And so, how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can just dial me, leave me a text message, a voicemail, 717-925-5625. It's a Pennsylvania number, but I'm domiciled here in Vero Beach, Florida. Again, 717-925-5625.
And you have a website too, right?
Yeah, website, thank you. It's www.revenuegrowthprogram.com.
Perfect. Easy to remember. Again, we're going to post underneath some specials for Labor Day that are different from what we normally have. And we'll have that going on till Tuesday, right? Next
Tuesday,
week?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, come in and see us. Those deals,
Yes.
these are a one-time opportunity.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.